Townhouses are one of my favorite home products on the Clark County market today. They're getting more and more popular every year. Let me tell you why today. Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas, Washington YouTube channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm grateful you're here today because we're talking about a housing product that I really love, townhouses or attached homes. I don't focus a lot of our content on townhomes just because there's less of them, but we're seeing them really emerge in the Clark County marketplace, and we really love helping clients buy and sell townhomes in Clark County, so I wanted to talk about them today. By the way, if you're new to the channel, thanks for being here. Sign up for Weekend Happenings with Hannah, our weekly email with local events in Clark County down below. You can also check us out on Instagram. We post other fun, great content on there. But let's get to what we are talking about today, which is townhouses. First, we have to define what a townhouse is. We work with a lot of relocation clients, and I have found out that townhouse can mean something different depending on where you're at. For us in Clark County, a townhouse means usually a two-story home that's attached at the walls and is built on the lot lines. With townhouse ownership, you own the whole structure up until, where you touch walls with the neighbor and the land beneath you. This is very different from a condo. People often get this confused with condos. In a condo, you don't own any of the land and you don't own usually the outside of the building. Typically, condo ownership is studs in, and then everything else is owned collectively because you're a part of the HOA. So it's a lot less risk owning a townhome. We do help clients with condos as well, but we prefer people buy townhomes because the ownership is just more favorable for them. As for the history of townhomes in Clark County, Washington, we really haven't seen this product here for a long time. I know townhouses have been a thing over on the East Coast for, 100 years or whatever. They've been around for a long time. It's very normal for folks to own townhomes. For us here, not so much. We've really only seen townhomes built the last 20 to 25 years. I cannot recall a single townhouse that we've shown a client or listed for a client built prior to the year 2000. They honestly have all been built after 2000. Also, up until recently, we really have only seen townhomes in infill developments. An infill development is, hey, you're in the middle of the city, there's a whole bunch of neighborhoods around, but maybe there's 2 acres of land that could get developed and it just kind of gets squished in there. It's not huge, it's not super purposeful. So that's infill development, it's already in that city center. What we're seeing today is we're seeing more purposeful townhome developments that are happening on the edges of town, and we're seeing a lot of mixed housing types in new construction communities. So we're seeing single family homes and townhouses together, so there's options for everybody. So I want to tell you what I love about townhomes, and then I'll tell you what I don't love about townhomes. What I love about this type of housing product is it's low maintenance. I think that is the biggest thing that our buyer clients cite, and our seller clients, if they're living in them, they loved having low maintenance. Usually it comes with a very small either front or backyard, depending on where the garage is. We have front load and back load townhomes here, meaning is the garage in the front or the back. So it seems to fit really well with these kind of folks. And of course, anyone could buy a townhouse, but single people love townhouses. They're easy to take care of. Downsizers love townhouses if they're okay with stairs. And first-time home buyers and young families love townhouses because it's not too much to take care of and it's more of an entry-level price point. Another thing I love about townhouses is not just the yard maintenance, but the exterior upkeep is oftentimes taken care of by the HOA. So you're gonna need to figure this out if you're buying a townhouse, but the new construction townhouses that we oftentimes help clients with, they take care of siding, paint, and roof replacement when they're needed in another 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Those costs are very unpredictable if you have a single family home, or even if they are predictable, they're just a big amount of money. A new roof on a single family home these days, $20,000 really easily. Siding, $20,000. Paint on the exterior, $10,000. Right? And so those are all things you don't want to have to pay. And so you're really spreading out your risk over a monthly basis with those HOA fees. HOAs are higher with the townhouse because you're having to pay into a pot, so that eventually there is money to replace the siding, there is money to replace the roof in 30 years, there is money to repaint the complex in another 15 years, but it's more predictable that way. Your money will also go further with a townhome than it will for a same or similar price home in single family. For example, right now we're selling a lot of townhomes in Ramble Creek community by Holt Homes. We absolutely love that community. And those are in the mid to, I would say now, high 400s. If we look at a single family house at $450,000, most people aren't going to like those homes or below $450,000 because they're not super great. Like they're stinky and old and need a lot of updates and don't have big windows. And, you know, they have a lot of bills that will be coming due with roofs and siding and yards that need maintenance, right? And oftentimes they're smaller. They're a lot smaller. They're maybe 1,200 square feet or 1,100 square feet or 1,300 square feet. Whereas for these townhomes, we're getting like 1,600 or 1,700 square feet. So you can get a bigger, nicer, brand new inside and have a much nicer interior of the home. Now let's talk about what I don't like about townhomes. One thing that's challenging with townhomes is parking. We live in a car-centric area, so most people are going to own, honestly, multiple cars if you're more than a single person in a household. And you will be limited with parking for a townhome. Usually developments here try and make it so that you can park 2 cars. It's rare for there to be a 1-car driveway. Even if the townhouse itself only has a 1-car garage, they'll pour the driveway so 2 cars can fit, because if you have 2 people, you probably have 2 cars. And then street parking is a hit and a miss. It just depends on the community if you can park in the street or not. You're really not supposed to own 3 or 4 cars though if you live in a townhouse that has a 2-car garage. That would be more for like guest parking. So that's one thing. Another thing would be if you live in a middle unit, you might not have a ton of natural light. Of course, this depends on how the home was built, when it was built, how big are the windows, but you don't have end windows if you're in a middle unit. And so that can be a challenge. And then the last thing I would say in terms of, you know, not so great things about townhouses is it does have higher HOAs and it does have HOA rules. Chances are if you hate HOAs, you're probably not looking at a townhouse anyways, and you never want to buy a townhouse without an HOA, because that means that your neighbor who's attached to you can literally do whatever they want. That's a terrible idea. But you do have to pay those monthly HOAs. It honestly, it all comes out kind of fair and square at the end of the day, because you don't have to pay for the roof, you don't have to pay for siding, you don't have to pay for paint. But that townhouse HOA is something that comes up. Now, what options are there currently in the townhouse market in Clark County, Washington? Well, there's lots of builders building townhouses here now, particularly on the edges of Vancouver and out in Battleground. We're seeing a lot of those. There are lots of national builders building right now, and I would advise you to try and stay away from those national builders if possible. If it's the only thing you can afford and it's really a great fit for you in terms of location, great, go for it. We'd rather you own a home than rent forever. But we really like to focus on the regional and the local builders because they build really amazing townhomes. And I want to tell you about 3 of them today. So Holt Homes, Ramble Creek, amazing townhomes. Oh my gosh, my favorite townhomes ever. They did such a great job designing the plans here. They come in 4 packs, and so it means 4 townhouses are attached, and then there's a break, and then another 4, and a break, and a 4, not a continuous stream of 20 townhouses. So that way there's a lot of end units, and you get all this beautiful, amazing natural light. A ton of these townhomes faced onto the park, a whole bunch of them faced into a green space on the other side of the community, and so they have incredible views. They have nice little front yards that are fenced in with a low fence. And so I really, really, really love these townhomes. They're very quality. They're honestly a really nice price for what they're offering. And we've helped so many clients buy these homes because they're amazing. And I think they're going to resell very well. Another great townhouse option we have right now in Clark County is New Tradition Homes. They are building some townhome products out in Battleground. We just helped some first-time buyers purchase one of those, and it was an amazing quality home for a great price. Battleground is less expensive, so if you need your money to go further, that's a great spot. And those came in 2 packs, and so it was literally just you and another person attached, and then a break, you and another person. And so it felt even more like a single-family home experience, but we were able to get a great price, and they got a brand new move-ready home. It was pretty amazing. The last townhouse product I really like right now in Clark County is Pacific Lifestyles. Pacific Lifestyle just unveiled their townhouse product in the 9s, and it's more of a high-end product because it's in Camas. These are priced from, I would say, like mid-600s to mid-700s, maybe higher, just depending on how you upgrade. And they are tuck under plans, so your garage is underneath, and then you walk up a flight to your main floor, and then up from there, you go up to your bedrooms, and they build a really great home. We sell their single family homes all the time, and just always very impressed with their layouts, their quality, and their overall experience. They're a very great company to work with. I will add that most of our townhomes here come in 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom plans. There's almost always going to be a half bathroom on the main floor. Please don't ever buy a 2-story home that doesn't have a half bath on the main floor. That's terrible design. And then upstairs there'll be a hall bathroom, and then of course there'll be a primary ensuite. This is the most common setup we see. Sometimes I do see 4-bedroom townhomes, but honestly the 3, 2.5 plan is very popular, and that's what I'd recommend for resale. Another thing people comment on with townhomes is, you know, am I going to be able to hear my neighbors through the wall? And it's hard to know without living in the home, so you have to have a little bit of faith there. I think asking the neighbors who already live there is a good idea. But honestly, if you work with one of the builders I just listed, Pack Life, New Tradition, Holt Homes, we work with them all the time, they're going to give you a good insulation package, and they're going to make sure your home is constructed well. I have a lot less faith in national builders because they're really about the bottom line, and they try to bid as cheap as possible. So I would stick to working with a local or regional, and you'll be in good shape. Going forward, what are we going to see for townhomes and kind of the acceptance and culture of this new housing product in Clark County? I think we're going to see a lot more townhomes. Zoning is shrinking in Washington. That's a state level push, and honestly a county level push as well. And they really want to encourage more high density products. So we're going to see a lot more of these both in the city and on the outskirts. And I think it's going to become more of a mainstream product. I feel like, you know, up until recently, a townhouse has kind of been inferior. Like, oh, you live in a townhouse, you couldn't afford a single family house. But it doesn't have to be that way, because townhomes are perfect for some folks. Thank you so much for watching this video about townhomes in Clark County, Vancouver, Camas, Ridgefield, Washington. Myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group, we'd love to serve you if you need help professionally selling or buying a home in Clark County. Text us or email us. Our contact information will be down below. We can't wait to see you guys soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.